So good evening, welcome to the Donny Chaingang's replacement. This is the new one. This is the thing that's going to change it all. We're going to get rid of that. No, we're not. It's here forever. I don't think we could get rid of it. We tried. This is the Wow Chaingang that has been born from the legendary Donny Chaingang. For those of you who are new, the Donny Chaingang occurs in South Yorkshire. It's of mythical quality, and it is one of those events that you have to be a lunatic, basically, to complete and to be a top-quality rider. Now, when lockdown came and COVID and all that rubbish, we basically thought, do you know what, let's bring it all indoors. And then we thought, you know what, let's bring it indoors and let's make some really specific events for people so that everyone gets a chance to have a lot of fun. So, the WOW was born, the WOW Donny Chaingang, which then has spawned and turned into women's only Chaingang on a Wednesday. Who would have thunk it? I know, quite astounding, isn't it? I'd like to say it was my brainchild and all my idea, but it wasn't. It's been a big team that's made it happen. My name's Matt Payne. I'm going to be bringing you all of the action. Emma, our head honcho, is down on the start line already. She's our yellow beacon tonight, and she's going to be joined by Foxy, who's on our red beacon duties. Now, we're down in the Full Speed Event studios, and this really is the underground bunker. Quite literally, we are underground in an old beer cellar, where we basically bring lots of commentary from UCI events right the way through to local events, your club events, whatever you fancy. Give us a shout. We can bring it out to millions or just one or two of you. We don't mind. Do you know what? Because we absolutely love this. We love bike racing in all its forms, bike riding in all its forms, and much as many of us would like to think we are bike ninjas, we're definitely not. Now, our riders are heading out from the pen, so whilst they start to make their way off from the race start, let's show you where they are heading. As you can see, right-hand side of your screen, you can see our beacon heading out, our yellow beacon. Now, we are going to head out and we're doing the farmland loop. This is a cracking loop. I actually did this as a recon a couple of days ago just to make sure I can remember what we're talking about. Downhill start for the first half a K. And you can see that. Well, you can see that up there on the 2D loop. It illustrates it very nicely indeed on the Velo Viewer Strava profile. Drops down. Run along. It's a little bit bumpy as we come into town, and then when we hit 5K, you can see we climb from 5 kilometers to 7 kilometers up. This means it is a little bit tricksy. That means the riders have got to learn how to ride together. That's part of why the Wow Chaingang has been designed and how it does differ a little bit from the Donny Chaingang that as was, because the aim is also not just for riders to get fitter and faster and stronger and have fun, but also to learn how to ride in a pack. Really, really, really important. And to have fun. Now, we're going to do the 0.2K, and already our group have made their way in through that lead-in banner. It's only 200 metres, let's face it. Now on to the first of 5 laps of 7.8 kilometres. The finish line is the orange lap arch at 39.2 kilometres, and then a warm-down that we include everywhere in the Chaingangs, and that is to the blue banner. So don't think when you get to the blue banner, that's it, you can then warm down. There is a warm down before that to stretch your legs out. Try and make sure everybody does it, because basically you're going to ride better. Now, so yellow beacon, as we said, is Emma Martin. Emma, of course, head honcho of the WOW. The red beacon is Lisa Jane Late, a.k.a. Foxy, who is already on. Now, as you can see, it is a bumpy course, so staying together is critical until the magic words, which are go, 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 occur. When that is said by our yellow beacon, then at that point, and only at that point, can the riders do whatever they want. They can sit and have a coffee and an ice cream. Yes, please. Or they can race like absolute lunatics to the finish and see if they can get there first. But only once the go, go, go happens. That is totally under the control of our yellow beacons. I don't have a clue when that's going to happen, and probably, to be brutally honest, neither does Emma. She probably doesn't know either. So we will find out. Let's jump on board with our riders who are on the screen. First of the instructions out, ramping, and to watts per kilo. Let's dive in with them here on the Chaingang. We're here on Zwift. We're bringing you the Chaingang. This is, of course, the WOW Chaingang, and at the moment, looks like it's pretty smooth on the way through. Doesn't look like anybody having any major issues at the moment. So the instructions coming on to the screen, the red beacon on their way back. So it looks like Steph Billings just had to stop. I think Laura Weiss is still stuck down in the pens. As we always say, don't forget, guys, you have got a late join. So it's a 30-minute rejoin. 30-minute rejoin. You can jump out, jump back in again. For the first 30 minutes, may well find Foxy's going to do exactly that. Lisa Jane Lake, very experienced rider. And currently just sitting about 15 seconds down. And Foxy's decided she's going to go for it. Here we are. Never mind the late join. Foxy's decided she's going to stretch her legs out and head off in towards the line. Heading towards the group. Oh, so... Hey, well, this is what we like to see. Lots of new people. We have got Nicole Wells. Welcome, Nicole. Oh, my goodness. Loads of people. I can't keep up. Well done. Let's have a look. Karen Van Der Act was to the DCG. Donny Wow, same thing. Just a new, grown-up version of the old Donny Women's Chaingang. Lots of hellos to everybody going out there. Now, I have seen a few of the... leading lights and a few of the big teams here. Holly Bergen here from the next PB, powered by Ensure. It's not then the next personal best insured. It's next PB insured. And they're on that Ensure, one of the key sponsors and supporters. We've got lots of new riders on board. Really simple format. Basically jump in and ride with the group. Stay with them as long as you can. Looks like Mia Johnson may well have a tech issue here. Looks like a complete freeze. If in doubt, jump out and jump back in again. Now, I think we're just going to see Leno Weiser just setting off. Leno, jump out, jump back in again. Late join is there. You will find yourself an easier way. And magically, as if by magic, you will end up in with our yellow beacon. So if you do drop from the pace, find a friend, ride on. Always key. Our yellow beacon took nicely in here. Emma, of course, from Full Speed Events with a lot of the riders regularly races and rides with. There are lots of friends on here indeed. The red beacon just hovering around the back. So great to see so many people. Out and on the ride, looking good at the moment. So good to have Holly back on board. We miss you, says Emma. Going for the 100% jumping on back in. Good to see how everyone is going. We've got a few new. Got Helen Backhouse sitting next to in here. Nicole Wells tucked in nicely. I think Foxy, to be honest, is just hovering around the back, just waiting to pounce. Just on the way down here, 2.5 watts per kilo. Just see our riders on the way through the farmland here in Mercury Islands in the Umezi part of the world here. And Foxy at the moment, 125 beats per minute. Looking pretty confident here. Holly on board. Holly says she's going to do the gel. Well, yeah, let's just say it is quite highly likely that is going to happen. Helen Backhouse just had a piece of Toblerone. Does that count? Yes, it does. I just had about 15 Quality Street. I figured that would get me through the broadcast one way or another. We'll see if that's going to be the case. So the riders on the way, looking good at the moment. So the message board's super busy. Let's use powered by the last mince pie in the house. Excellent. Loving it. Foxy's quite comfy. Sitting in there. That's what we want to see. Mince pies and chocolate logs. Yes. I think everybody at the moment is having their post-crimbo fuel up done. Miss Cookie's got a secret stash of mince pies. The idea is actually to eat it all by New Year. Then when you have a New Year's resolution, you don't get tempted. As somebody who is regularly tempted by them. So it looks like the group pretty much following the pace of Emma here as they're on the way through. Nicola Soda's got banana. I think you're doing it all. The way you can have you ever had chocolate dipped banana? There you go. It's absolutely gorgeous, has to be said. Chocolate dipped banana. Not a fan of bananas, but there you go. Okay, shout coming out from Emma, our beacon, to move up to 2.5 watts per kilo. So we've had a great season so far. I'm going to dive in with whilst we're watching one of our new riders. We're going to drop a ride on board on Nicole. Really important to have a little bit of a think this time of year and think about everybody on board and where we've got to. We're doing pretty good so far. We've got lots of different riders encouraging people to jump on to Zwift ride, go out and race, give people the skills to do that and having fun. Now, Foxy is clear behind Foxy at the moment, which is good to see. And Foxy on her way in and through. So just in with Claire Richardson of the Aeonian squad, tucked in here nicely. So that teaches you say, don't message back on this one, Foxy. It shows on the broadcast, Foxy. You just message back on it to say okay. There you go. Right, who could tell there was no ZRL last night? I bet everybody's legs are feeling good because of that as the riders make their way around. Beacon leading our riders in and through into the trees at the moment. Just in at the moment with Duffield, just tucked at the back. Jess Duffield here from the Paragoonies. We go over the railway bridge, just making our way in to town. This camera angle definitely showing just how twisty and turning it is. And to give you an indication, let's pull down the profile down here on the map. So we're zigzagging our way up the left hand side, so we're basically just going around the hairpin turn at 5.5k. We're going to come back in. It zigzags up and around these next couple of turns here, and this will bring us up to the initial top of the slope at just over 6.5k in to the course. You can see at the moment though the riders making the way around 5 laps of the 7.8k circuit at the moment. This group looking pretty compact as they come in and around the turn. Our helicopter trying not to damage its rotor blades on the old sides of the hills here. That's looking pretty good at the moment. Foxy just chasing on to the back. We're on lap 1 of 5. And Foxy at the moment working her way up around these twists and turns, around this series of bends. The gradient still ticking up and down as you go. That's the first of the raises done. There's a long drag from here, which is not the easiest. It looks like Foxy getting a good workout at the back, just past the cat side of the road there. Fox decided not to stop for a little snack on the way through. So a little bit of a depression down into that dip, and then right on up it rises up here. Now we're going to rise into it, overlooking the start-finish line arch, which is down at that farmland loop entry point down by the pens. At the moment, looks like the group all together rolling at 2.5 watts per kilo. Plenty of people taking their turn up on the front at the moment. And remember, of course, if you are watching, you want to jump on board, you want to join, well, there's lots of ways to do it. You can pick up the event on the Zwift events page. So open to all on the Zwift events page. If you don't want to have to scroll through all that, you can pre-join, and we send you the link to join direct to your email inbox. And we don't use your email for anything else. I know one or two people always concerned that we'd sell your email address and you just let us know. Anybody who knows me will know that I am absolutely a stickler, a pedant when it comes to data protection in that sense, and that we never sell it to anybody, nobody, no how. We literally don't even give it to the people who are giving you the goodies. If we do a giveaway, we let you get in touch with them, and you can give them your email address, not us. All we do is we email you out all of the Zwift links to your inbox, and then that way you get to join, and you can join as far in front as you want. At the moment, the links are out until the end, I think, of February. So if you join or you register down at www.buytickets.at/fullspeed events, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And what we do is we ping out the link to you, and then you can just choose when you're going to join and which ones you're going to join. Or you can just join them all and then choose to be there or not. So the riders coming down past the pens in the main pack. You can see the speed of that pack coming down nice and quickly. Our riders are going to see the orange banner. This is 1 lap done. 1 down, 4 to go. 1 down, 4 to go. The finish line here. So we now have 4 laps left to go. 4 laps left to go. At the moment, this group riding nicely. They'll no doubt pick up speed. The one thing that we can guarantee is it will make you quicker. Good to see we've got Pip Morning here. Pip has been doing sterling work as our red beacon. So definitely dropping a thumbs up. A few burritos going down. People don't like burritos. I don't love burritos, just not necessarily on a ride. I like them on a race, but not on a ride. They've just burritoed the yellow beacon. In fact, they've burritoed the yellow beacon off the back of the group there. So there you go. That's the effect it has. Basically, burrito dumps the drafts. Nobody can draft within 8 meters of you, including you, so you basically don't get any drafts. It's a draft-free zone. You can dump your power-up. So when you pull up your menu, you can see it scrolling across in here. There is a little dustbin will appear for you. It's not going to appear for us because we haven't got any anything in here. But if you go through your roll down here, instead of it being, as you can see, different camera shots, what you actually will get, you'll see there's a dustbin. If you do that, if you hit the dustbin, it bins your burrito, so you don't dump it on everybody else. It can be handy to dump it if you're particularly in a team time trial and you get given one, because that's the last thing you want in a team time trial. So Foxy tucked on the back of the group, making contact comfortably on the back. Quick reminder, we've just come down past the start, and you can see that top left-hand side. We're heading down to the very flatlands right-hand side of the screen. Lonely at the rear. It is Foxy, just sit on board. You just have to get ready to slam the brakes on if you need to go back. No power-ups in team time trials. Well, that depends. Because it depends on what the people who set it up. You can actually set it up to have them. It can be done. I actually think that team time trials on Zwift should have power-ups. It's my own personal view. And they should have negative power-ups like the burrito as well, to make people think it's not just then about pure power, because when you ride a team time trial, you still got to deal with the unexpected, cars, etc. So if you can get them, feather them for Holly on a team time trial. Let us know what you would want. If you were going to do a team trial, what would be your ideal power-up? I would like to have, on a team time trial, a draft, because it's just the most useful thing ever, to be able to go back, get back on. When you've taken a turn, you know when you've taken a turn on the front, I'm sure everybody who's done a ride, you get on the front, and then all of a sudden, you go off the front, and the group comes past, and then you're left in like the red zone trying to get on the last wheel in front of you. And it's like the world's hardest effort you've made on a bike, and you want to be really ill. Having a magical power to get back on there would be good. So like the draft, but like a magnet. Maybe it should be a horseshoe that sucks you to the group. It glues you to the back of the group, no matter what. That would be a mega power-up. Maybe we should lobby the team at Zwift for a magnet power-up. And it sucks you up to the back of the group. And you just go, and then you're on the back of the group. Wouldn't that be cool? I like that. Especially for team time trials. Done far too many. Even with a few. Scary thought. I think my favourite one was going up to the northeast and beating a whole load of local riders. Banded Tea Time Trial. Oh yeah, exactly. That'd be interesting, entertaining, wouldn't it? For sure. Just in with Anne at the moment. Good to see that Anne jumping on board. We've got a few people jumping in on a late jump, which is always good to see. Always want to try and make it as accessible as we can for people to jump on board. A little bit later time, you'll notice on the Wow Chainagng 6:15 rather than 6 o'clock. Just gives a few people a chance to get back. If you've been working, you've got more chance of making it back in time for the start. And of course, we've got that half-hour late start as well. So one lap done, almost 1.5 coming up pretty shortly. It's 8 laps, 8k a go. We're fast approaching the 12k marker as we come in and through. The riders being waved at as the workers looking at their giant pumpkins, I think. Never noticed that before. See something new every day. Not just bears falling out of trees or dinosaurs. Or Santas. Or Sasquatches. So, little drag coming up as we make our way around the turns. Not long we'll be hitting the treads that pulls the riders in and through. Looks pretty good at the moment. Everybody pretty comfy here. Foxy just patrolling the back here, waiting to see if anybody needs assistance at the moment. Nobody does. Everybody's nicely tucked in the group here. Neil Johnson back with us again. Good to see me back on board. Just go through past the paddy fields to the right and left. So a good friend who we work with on a Sunday, actually out in Japan at the moment. Going to be out there, be very interested to see what their thoughts are. Don't think they come back into the studios until January, but really looking forward to seeing what their thoughts were. Out and travelling, using their time at the moment to go out and around the world, but really looking forward to seeing what they've got to say. We'll be catching up with them in the not too distant future. Maybe this, I think it's the Sunday after when we're going to get to hear all about their adventures in Japan. Really looking forward to it. Maybe ask them if it's a bit like this where they were. I'm sure there'll be lots of great pictures coming out from them. We're going to be bringing out lots of coverage. Got the Donny Chaingang coming out tomorrow. They're in Bologna for the Open to All Donny Chaingang. That's tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We're going to be bringing the UCI Cyclocross from Hulst on the International World Feed. So the International World Feed, that is on Saturday. So if you're not in the UK, If your computer's address is somewhere else in the world that doesn't have its own dedicated feed or a locked-in channel, you can find the list of countries that do have a locked-in channel actually on the Race Hub on the UCI site. But if you are in the middle of nowhere, if you're in, for example, Brazil, I think you'll probably be able to tune in on the YouTube channel. And if you go on the YouTube channel, you'll hear yours truly talking all things cyclocross at the UCI cyclocross in Hulst, one of my favourites. In fact, it's in Polder. They're quite adamant. It's not just in the Fortress Citadel of Hulst. It's in Polder. But think medieval fortified Low Countries town, complete with ramps, ramparts, moats and ditches. And they are ascended and descended by the riders. It's got a windmill that the riders go right through the middle. So I think crazy golf, but with riders on a cyclocross race. At the moment, we're in one of the best cyclocross seasons and the best Christmas period in cyclocross I can remember. Well, we're going to be bringing the action from Hulst. In between now and then, not only are we going to be recording, but we're also going to be releasing another crosscast. There's the last one featuring Lars van der Haar. Thank you, everybody. I know a number of people who watch also download the crosscast. A big thank you if you have downloaded and listened to the latest crosscast with Lars van der Haar. Really appreciate that. Please do continue to do so. Tell your friends about that if you're into cyclocross. Okay. So the riders blatting the way in and through. Emma just keeping track on everybody. We're just heading into the village at the moment. So Emma just picking it up. Good to see the new riders being announced on the Tactic Race team. Some very interesting riders across disciplines as well. Interesting to see a number of riders who are very competitive off-road as well as on in the mix. So really interesting to see what they're going to be up and about. So let's see how everybody gets on now. Just taking a quick check. As the riders go through, looks like Watts just jumping up near the front here. Sarah Watts, perfect name when you're on Zwift. As they start squeezing the way up the climb here, just holding it to 2.5 to 2.8 there. So good push, squeeze at the front. Nobody at the moment suffering too much at the back. It's getting steady quicker, I think, steadily quicker at the moment, which is good to see. Just going to take a little bit of a check. And, yeah, Foxy's just keeping an eye on everybody. Have to say, I think pretty much everybody is going to be pretty comfortable, I think, at the moment on this pace. But we will see. Remember, Foxy, the woman of 1 million zillion billion trillion outfits, is on the back, shepherding our riders. And if Foxy has replicated, the first person to spot a replication of Foxy's outfit from week to week will get an ice cream whenever I see them in person. So you can win yourself an ice cream. It has to be confirmed by Foxy that she's worn the same kit twice when you say she has. And no sharing the ice cream, just get an ice cream out of me. So Karen van der Bracht nicely tucked in here. Very comfy with the pace, I think, as the rider's going down 138 beats per minute. Just in with Miss Cookie, just in front of Foxy here. This little squeezy roller coaster just starts to break things up. So we've got the Fox and the Cookie together. Confectionery and predatory animal. Yeah, not going to end well, is it really? Let's face it. Now, just in with Chesterfield. sitting in the dodgiest seat in town, the one at the back of the group, the one where it's the gang are. Now let's see how they're going. Now let's have a look. Foxy and Miss Cookie, what do you want to do? I don't know. What are you going to do? What are we going to do? Let's carry on. I don't know. And by the time they thought about it, the group will have gone down the road. But we'll see. So whilst they chat on the right-hand side, we're going to have a little look at the front. Remember, we're coming around to the end of lap 2 of 5. Which means we'll be on 3 laps to go. We're with Sam Gell at the moment. Nicholas Soden, you need to go to the team at Nonnas. Go down to see Nonnas, go see Stefano down there. When you go in, just give us a shout, meet down there. It's not quite our local, but it should be, really. Maybe we have to move just to make it our local restaurant. That'd be quite cool. Apart from where we need to move to, apologies if you live there, but we're a little bit further out in the countryside from there, so we get some slightly nicer riding to hit the good stuff. Our leaders down, they're past the pens. Group moving well tonight. I think this could be quite interesting here today, because we've seen a couple of riders, one rider not managed to get into the group. A couple of riders just now forming the bus. Ding ding, all aboard please, tickets please. The red bus is formed. Foxy is your conductor tonight. Bus driver on the back. Then we're looking at Pitmon holding back the group. This is incredible. The pack holding very comfortably indeed. Another couple of anvils. Burrito also gone down. Draft being chucked in there as well. Interesting to see Nicholas Soden and the tactics squad all adopting the tartan. Actually, of the from Scotland. It's not quite the tactic kit. The best colour kit in the business, I have to say. One of the best designs of kit I think I've ever seen. The best dressed team, definitely in the women's peloton by a mile. It is the Tactic UK Women's Race team. And I'm not just saying that because I happen to have a set of the kit. Thank you very much, guys. But it is because actually it's really cool. Even I look slightly fast downhill in it. So, going away from kit, jumping in with Danielle Gaynor in here. Danielle looking pretty comfy, 136 beats per minute. Dive across to Lais Hughes. Hughes rolling round, 80 revs per minute, holding the pace here. 137 beats per minute, 76 revs a minute for Johnson. Going to take a run down at Holly Bergen. Holly's heart rate also up in the 130s here. Let's take a look at our Biggin. Our Biggin run at 86 revs per minute. We'll just take a little drop down. Through Sandra McKay, 150 beats per minute, working maybe potentially a little bit harder at the moment. Sandra McKay on there. Maybe simultaneously eating a mince pie, you never know. So as the bunch comes through, just running in with Anna at the moment. There are lots of very similar heart rates, I have to say, in there. I don't think anybody pushing themselves to their absolute limit at the moment. And the group still holding pace. I wonder when our beacon's going to pick it up. We're currently sitting at 32, nearly 33 minutes here. We're on lap 3, the mid lap of 5 laps here on the farmland loop. A quick reminder, if you weren't with us at the start of the show, kicking off from the straight, we had 0.2k leading, 5 laps in total of each of 7.8 kilometres, which means that the orange lap arch is the finish line, and that finish line comes in at what is going to be 39.2 kilometres. And don't forget, of course, we then have about 800 metres to warm down. Fox just chugging the pies about at the back. And I'm not sure when we're going to see our next rider head that way. I wonder whether Karen's deciding to aim up for the bus or just hovering at the back, just waiting to see what happens. as we come through 34 minutes in. Karen van der Rijt's heart rate at the moment, 112 beats per minute. Absolutely stunningly low. Ticking along comfortably here as we weave our way around the turns here. We just come around that turn. The gap opening up, 32 seconds back to Foxy and Cookie. So as you can see, this compact group just coming around these turns at the moment. Just making the way in through the farmland, not too far before they get to more of the paddy fields on the way through, but damp vegetation down here. You can tell by the length of the vegetation at the side. And take this left-hand turn here, then heading over back towards the villages. Claire Richardson, one of the fast riders from AEO, going to be used to some nice green lush vegetation. Claire, the other side of the Irish Sea from where we are, and enjoys living in one of the nicest places. Oh, let's have a look. It is time for the guys to make their way in past the world's biggest pumpkin ever.com. I love the fact that they're waving people over to come and have a look at it. Nobody's taking them up on their offer. So a couple of riders living dangerously. Looks, I think that is going to be Jess Duffield and Karen van der Rijt to the back. I think I'm just going to take a double check there as they come in. Duffield quickly squeezing back in. They are all flying along at the moment. I think our beacon really is just thinking, our yellow beacon's thinking, well, do you know what, we're going to have to squeeze this. So everybody's absolutely pigging along here. Everyone's more than comfortable enough. I'm not quite breaking into a sweat yet. We will see what our beacon's going to do about this. Okay, up to a max of 4 watts kit per kilo, please. This is where we're going to see who is going to take it up on the front. Are we going to see some serious power being put down? I think the full speed event avatar there, Emma, is deciding to ramp it up. Is Emma Martin, Professor Emma Martin, Dr. Emma Martin, head honcho of the WOW, ramping things up on the front, and I think we're going to start to see some damage being done here. I think riders who are not able to stay in the wheels now are going to find it increasingly difficult to get back on, so you've got to really fight now to stay in those wheels. Do not let the gaps go. This is all about making sure you can hold the pace. Do not let a wheel go. If you let a wheel go now, you will find that you are going to be in trouble. All of a sudden, we are starting to see the big hitters move up to the front here. So they start to stretch this out at 4 watts per kilo. This is going to get really tricky. If you are on the back, if you're in the middle, you let the gap go, you will find yourself distance. If a rider in front of you lets the gap go, expect to have one heck of a chase on your hands to get back on board. It's up to 4 watts per kilo max. Will they start to shed riders? You don't want to carry a sprinter into the finish of this race because it's downhill run into the finish. So it's about getting rid of those riders if you can. Now, remember, the aim here is to stay with the yellow beacon, to hold it in that up to 4 watts per kilo. It's certainly looking tough stuff at the moment. Who is going to be able to take this out? It's going to be a very interesting run for the finish. Remember, the trigger point at which all restrictions disappear, guess what? That is when our yellow beacon calls the 3 Gs and the 3 Os. They say that word go 3 times, and then that is the marker at which there are no rules. Whatever you need to do to get to the finish, however you want, you can do it. Don't forget that if you do get distance, the red beacon is always there for you. Foxy, the wonderfully amazing Lisa Jane Late, is sat there with the one and only Miss Cookie. They are going to be waiting with open arms to shepherd you around to the finish with your sore legs if you've tried to stay with the leaders and have found it just that one hill too far. I think this pace, as they carry this pace into the climb, is going to be really, really tough, because at the moment, as they come around these turns, you can see the temples in the distance. It's starting to take its toll. We're starting to see riders come off the back, and it's only going to get harder as they come on to the climb. I think Watts now feeling the pressure. Got to squeeze on now. If you don't get on now, you're going to hit that castle, and then things are going to get tough. Duffield also in danger at the back of this group. They cannot let that gap go. The leaders come round to the left. It's a straight, then into the railway bridge, over the railway bridge, through the hairpin turns, up through the centre, coming in to the village. However, it's about making sure you keep this climb under control. Are they going to make their way back on the front group when they hit the steeper gradients? Will slow down in terms of physical speed. Whether that's enough for the riders to get back on board, we will see. So, quick reminder, 4 watts per kilo, the max being called on the climb here. I don't think anybody's going to want to do much more than that. Let's face it, at this stage, very dangerous thing to go too hard too early, because you will be using energy that you need later on. But I think this climb, this increase in gradient, is going to take its toll. Looks like Wells now needing to squeeze to get onto the back here. Got Watts behind. We could see the riders starting to come back together. We've got Wells, Watts and Duffield just losing a little bit of contact here. Mia Johnson squeezing hard here to get back in to the middle of the group, having to put a big old kick there just to get back on board. But the gaps are starting to open with this climb. Backhouse comfortably in the group. I say comfortably, everybody's heart rate's starting to go up now as they come up this climb. Even the yellow beacons chucking in the feather flags to ascend up here and try and keep the pace at the right speed here now as they come up over the top here. And it's going to level off a little bit. They have been pushing, but this is where the gap really does open up, because when you go over a summit, that's when the gaps open. Now, can Watts and Wells get together? This is going to be really important. They can see the group. If they don't get on before that descent, they could find themselves in trouble. We're looking up in front with Watts at the moment. So at the moment, this is about getting back in that group if you can. Going to be tricky to do so because of the speed that group is rolling. Pip Morn now in the danger zone. Come on, Pip. You've got to keep pushing. You've got to get in these wheels. Just hanging at the back of the group here. We haven't yet had the trigger from our leader. This is just the ramp. At the moment, it is doing damage. Wells at 5 seconds. Watts at 8 seconds. Duffield at 24. The red beacon, 1 minute 52 at the moment. Morn at the moment, the rider in the danger zone, going to be drifting out of the draft effect. And that is when things get really, really tough indeed. This is going to be really, really difficult. Let's have a look. They're on the way down. Taking the left turn, taking the right. Pip Morn now being distanced. 2 seconds is the gap off the back of this group. If we take a look back behind Karen van der Acht, you can see the distance figure of Pip Morn, and that is why you've got to hold the wheels. This group has got very select very, very quickly indeed. And now it looks to me like this group, we're going to take a little bit of a check if we can. I think this group is... the go has gone. There are 13 riders in contention. Will there be 13 riders together when they settle down after that? Go. It has gone. And I think they are shedding bodies very quickly indeed because of the pace. This massive time to kick with 2 laps left to go. 2 laps left to go. That is a monstrous kick. These riders now have their work cut out. Our yellow beacon instigating that at 23.6k. This is absolutely going to be brutal. I'm not sure whether our yellow beacon will want to even try and stay with the group or be shepherded in the middle. We will find out, but it's time now to stop the typing and for our beacons to think about what they're going to go. Oh, I'm seeing a few interesting moves here. I think Mir Johnson has just come rocketing through the front, and immediately behind, I think that's Meskova, who's just dropped in a... It's Zuzka Meskova who just dropped the burrito in there, making that chase more difficult for the riders behind. They've got across, particularly in the shape of Holly Bergin, but that would have been a difficult chase with that burrito dropped in. Now, it was 13 riders. I think it's going to be 12 riders in the chasing group. The last rider in that group is going to be our yellow beacon, that's Emma. As these riders go on, Meskova, after having dropped that burrito in an attempt to slow it down, is now starting to find the base too hot. I think Karen van der Racht is also in trouble here. Come on, Karen. This is where you've got to keep squeezing. You got to get it on there. You have really got to give it some now, because you need to get into those wheels. You cannot afford to let the gaps go. Sitting in the wheels is so critical a skill, and I think Karen has got back in here. So Karen van der Racht is in now. This is about the tactics. If they ease, there are some very strong sprint riders who will come back in. Now from full speed events, Meskova, McKay, Wells, Morn, Watts. Remember, if you are at the back behind that, jump a group. Get a group together, guys. That is going to be the fastest way to ride round. Remember, we are on the second to last lap. It's going to be key here to make sure that you can get yourselves into the finish. Time to see who your money is on. We're just currently in with Richardson, often one of our fastest riders on the Chainagng. Claire Richardson tucked in here. Will it be the returning Holly Wedenesday today, or will we see Tactic play this out? No, is he Torrey today? And that means that they potentially lost one of the strong riders out of the squad, but big squad. Be interesting to see how it's going to play out as they move through towards the finish. At the moment, though, this is a long, fast, flat section. I expect the pace probably to drop down a little bit here, and that's because it is a lot easier to sit in with the riders than it is to make a move on the front. So in with Holly Bergin at the moment. The next PBE, next power by Ensure in there. So coming through that group are pretty smooth at the moment. Just watching them make the way around these turns. Just a bit of a drop in pace as they come down here. I think a bit of recovery being done. They know that not too long, and they will be up on to the climb once again. Nicholas Soden in that pack. Might have moved back for my favourite camera shot of all time. So Soden tucked in the group. Karen van der Racht holding pace behind, watching what's going on. Is Karen playing this super smart at the moment? Just watching, in a position to react, so able to see people jumping. If you're on the front, it's more difficult to see somebody taking a flyer, but at the moment, looking good. So the leaders together. Let's just take a little bit of a jump back. Looks like we've got a group of four. We've got Pip Morn, we've got Nicole Wells, we've got Sandra McKay in here, and we've got Emma from Full Speed Events. Group of four riders in here. And this is our yellow beacon group. They're group 2 on the road at the moment. So you get magic beans with yellow. Yeah, you could probably more likely get magic gin, to be honest. Then we have behind group 2, looks like Meskova up at the side of the road. Darfield just a bit further back. And then it's our beacon who are starting to try and work the way up, mop up the riders on the way through. Don't forget to jump on board with the riders. Oh, excellent. Bitmore's got to go. She may disappear for a short while. It's not in our view at the moment. She's back with the group behind. So here we go, right-hand turn coming up. We're going to start pulling our way up the slope soon. And this is where things start to get a bit interesting. Because once we start to take the turn on here, the gradient stays in. It starts to get a little bit closer. The trees come across. Surefire indicator as you come in that we're heading in towards the village. And you'll see that this is where, even though the gradient doesn't increase, the roaders tend to feel a little bit more pressed as they come in here. Gone from those wide open areas into the mist here, into the woods. The pace really motoring at the moment. Going to be coming past the road junction. Smoothly through, coming around this left. I said nobody blinking at the moment in this group. The pace has come down. Remember, it was sitting at 4 watts per kilo for a while before the 3Gs were pulled. It's now got all tactical. They're still seeing some big numbers in here. 3s and 4s are still holding in here. But the gradient starts to flick up and down. We start to see those little roller coasters starting to take effect. The gradient eases again, and then kicks, eases and kicks. Could be very interesting. So here we go, down around those turns. This pack holding together. Are they waiting to see who they can shed on the climb? Quick reminder for you, if you weren't with us at the head of the show, 5 laps in total. The finish line will come at 78, not quite that bad, 39.2, it's 7.8k. So at the moment our ride is at 29 on the way around on the penultimate lap as they make their way up on to the climb here. They're into the gradient now. Remember, the finish line is at 39.2. That means that we have got just over 1 full lap left to go. They're going to hit this right-hand turn, and at the moment, I think Soden and Bergin are really itching to get down the road to get on to this climb. They're putting in a little bit of work here that has opened the gaps a little bit behind. It's not one compact group. We're almost starting to see a split, and this is before we take this right-hand turn. Now we go around that turn. Mia Johnson going very quickly on to the climb. You can see that the wind-up has started here. And just moving away in through. Looks to me, though, that Mia Johnson really is having to work. Bergin is going through. So is Soden. Soden's at 5 watts per kilo to get on to the wheels of Holly Bergin. And they are starting to shed more riders once again. I think Karen van der Hacht has gone from the group now. Karen now needs to get some recovery done. She's got plenty of riders coming behind. But there are riders in front who are also in trouble here. I think Helen Backhouse is in trouble. Gell is in trouble. We've got Hughes, we've got Gaynor. Richardson is not in at the very front of this group. It's Bergin who is winding it up. Welcome back, Holly. She's on the front and she's really starting to do some damage. Soden holding those wheels at the moment. As the next bar by Ensure. Rider goes over the top. Holly Bergin making her way around here now. Remember, when we get to the line, there will still be 1 full lap to go. When we hit the lap line this time, how many riders would you want to take out on your last 8k round here? Last 5 miles, when you get to that orange banner, who would you want? How many riders would you want? Would you really want to go solo 5 riders in contention: Bergin, Soden, Johnson, and Richardson. All just about within a fighting distance, within the group, basically. It's a bit of a pullback for Richardson, no, and I think Richardson just starting to ease off those pedals, thinking about getting the group to come up behind. That gap has now gone to 7 seconds. And I think Claire Richardson has decided enough's enough. Soden at the moment trying to hold on to and to Mia and on to Holly as they come through here. 4 riders, and Bergin, Johnson, Soden in there. Richardson out 14 seconds, about to get caught by Hughes. Gaynor, Gell, Backhouse. They're the next riders who could well see Richardson. And that's the one thing to remember, you could find yourself very quickly losing positions on the way through. As we come down towards the banner, it will be one more lap to go. One more lap to go at the banner this time. Bergin going to lead them through. I think she is. Here they go. That is the finishing line in 1 lap's time. Who is going to hold on to this? Nicholas Soden gets in with the group. This group has become 4. Can they keep this away? It's looking very, very hot at the moment on the front. Anvil being dropped down there. So here we go. Very quickly on the way down this hill. What you mean I'm buying? Right for that ice cream, Matt's buying. Yeah, right. We will see. So here we go. Left turn. Coming smoothly round. Then we'll see the right hand turn. No problems at all. These 4 up in the front. So 4 riders together now. Immediately behind. This is Group 2 on the road. So we have got Danielle Gaynor, who's leading through at the moment. You've got Gaynor, you've got Richardson and Hughes. So Claire Richardson and Liz Hughes. They are the riders in the positions behind, basically in 5th, 6th and 7th position. When we go a little bit further down behind them then, we're going to come to at least 2 on the way in and through. So we've got Helen Backhouse, we've got Sam Gell immediately behind, chasing hard at the moment. Then you've got Wells, who is leading this big group here, the Yellow Beacons group. Now, interested to see that everybody wants to keep the gap. Would you want to let riders like Richardson up onto your heels? No, you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. We know how much of a danger she is. We will see. Meanwhile, the Yellow Beacon group going down here. So Pitmorn, Emma Martin, it's going to be Mon, it's going to be McKay, it's going to be Martin, 3 M's in the group, along with the W in the shape of Nicole Wells. They go through. Yellow Beacon group has 1 lap left to go. 1 lap left to go. Now, immediately behind them, I think we're going to find Foxy and Miss Cookie. They are our Red Beacon group. They are on their way around through these turns on the way in towards the centre of town. Meanwhile, we're going to jump back in. Let's take a look at our leading group here. So, Anne of BBB squad in there. Bergin, Nicholas Soden, and Mia Johnson. Interesting. Time gap, 18 seconds to group number 2. Group number 2 also numbering 4 riders. Then the gap extends further. They're pretty cool, calm and collected up the front here. This pace has dropped off. Hughes and Co behind. not losing really any ground at all. The group of 4 has become 5 here because we've got Richardson, Gaynor, Hughes, Gell, and Backhouse, I think, in here as well. So 5 riders potentially chasing 4 in front if they choose to work, but they do need to choose to work, because if they don't, that gap will go out. It is not insurmountable at the moment. And then behind, and you've got the Wells, Morn, McKay, and Martin. So basically Wells with the Antipodean M, and then we have the McKay, Morn, and Martin, 3 M's. Followed then by Cookie, followed by Rave Foxy of the Rave Squad. I wonder if the tunes are going on in the party bus. Is it Rave by team name, Rave by nature? We will see now. Group 2 or Group 1? Group 1. Yeah, Group 1. Still looking pretty smooth as they come round. Bergin doing plenty of work. Johnson just goes on to the front, take a turn. Foxy keep getting chest infections. That's not good. Now, looking down to the racing here, looking down to our riders. Do you know what? The group behind are not losing that much ground at all. They're still sitting at 19 seconds. At least Chainagng post-COVID. Lisa, take it steady. If you want to know why, ask Emma. It's really straightforward. Be smart. Be very, very smart. So Bergin leading the group of 4 through. I think this leading 4 just trying to keep the pace high enough to keep the 5 chasers behind out of the way. Hughes, Gaynor, Richardson, Gell, and Backhouse, the nearest chasers. Something sitting around about the 3 to 3.5. I think they're going to keep pulling away slightly from this group. This is group number 2 on the road. Gaynor and Gell, followed by Hughes, Backhouse, and Richardson, the 2 Aeonian teammates. So Backhouse on the Tron bike. Richardson riding on, I think that's the fastest combo in the game at the moment for pretty much most terrains. So keeping it smooth at the moment. The 5 chasers, the 4 coming in. Now, if you remember the profile, let's just drop that down for you. And now, just as a quick reminder here, we are coming into where on lap number 1, it was the 4.5k marker. It is a lot further on now. Obviously, our race at the moment 36k. But this is about making sure that the riders can answer any attacks until the summit. And a quick reminder, from the summit to the finish, it is 0.8 of a kilometre, 800 metres from the high point of the course down into towards the finish line arch at the orange banner. So we are on our way in. This is going to be very, very interesting indeed as they make their way up through those twists and turns. They've had plenty of practice. Who is it going to be? Who will blink first? Who is going to take it up as they go on to the slopes? They're starting to head in. Remember, as we move in towards the village, gradients increase. It then has some dips on the higher sections, and that is where you've got to be flexible in your pedal cadence and your power delivery if you want to stay on board, ready to make your way into the finals. We're going to keep an eye on the riders. So Mia Johnson on the front of the group in the green jersey, black shorts, long pink socks. You've got the rider from the next powered by Ensured on the green Trumbike. That is Holly Bergin. And from the BBB squad now on the front, the real quick cadence there. She came in and through. Just speeding away up as they come in to town. I think it's again, that fastest setup on the bike. It's not the lightest, and that means that you could be at a little bit of a disadvantage when you're coming up on to the climb on that setup. Not a huge one, but it is going to make a little bit of a difference. So you have to hope the speed stays high enough for the aerodynamic speed advantage. Now here we go. Mia Johnson throws in a feather. Is this going to help her on the way up here? At the moment, she's sitting in here relatively comfortably. But now as you come into that tight left-hand turn, that feather plays into its own. Now Johnson kicks 6.5 up to 8.5 watts per kilo, settling down to 7, using that feather to her advantage. Can she get a big enough gap on the climb now to hold these riders off? Bergin is going after her, Anne and Soden. They are going to take the steady option to pull back the gaps. They are absolutely flying up here at the moment. But has Johnson broken Bergin here? I don't think Bergin's got an immediate answer that is going to be effective. She's got the draft engaged. She waited until this slightly downhill section, and you can see that she's in pursuit at the moment of our leader, who's got 3 seconds. So 3 seconds at the moment. This is the distance. Mia Johnson would get the combativity award if we had one to give. Here we'll be going to Mia Johnson for that attack, going off the front. She's done the damage. Can she make it stick? Bergin now has got the gap down to 1 second. It's 4 seconds back to Anne. 9 seconds to Soden. Nicola Soden's legs, I think they fell off somewhere on those slopes. If somebody find them, please return them to owner. Nicola Soden's legs missing in action on the climb. It looks like Anne also paying the price, but Mia Johnson and Holly Bergin, they are together now. Has Johnson got an answer to Bergin? 2 riders together. If they hesitate too much, Anne will be back on, and she's only 5-6 seconds off the back here. They can't hesitate too much. Not too much thinking time for the riders as they come through. 2 riders, nothing to choose between them. Green, all green, with the black shorts, the darker bike. That is Mia Johnson. With the green Trumbike, the green stripe diagonally across from right to left, and the white helmet. That is Holly Bergin. Bergin is in there. At the moment, there is nothing to choose between them. And as we see them come down here, they are just egging at each other, just easing up, easing down. Now we're starting to see a wind come from Bergin. Bergin is starting to squeeze. Now she kicks. Here comes the power. She's lit the afterburners. She's going to make her way in towards the line. Holly Bergin. Welcome back, Holly. Winner on the wow as she comes in through. Mia Johnson absolutely flying at the line. Great second place for Mia. Brilliant ride by Mia Johnson. It's going to be a 3rd place here for Anne. Nicola Soden is going to come through for 4th. So, top spot going to Bergin. 2nd place for Johnson. 3rd place for Anne. 4th place is going to go to Nicola Soden. Well done, Holly Bergin. First win at this. What a way to come back. Now, next up is going to be Hughes. Hughes is going to come through. Great ride by Liz Hughes in there almost to the end. She comes in ahead of Claire Richardson. And Gaynor is Danielle Gaynor going to get her. They're going to be pretty much side by side as they come in. Oh, it's going to just go to Richardson from Gaynor. Backhouse almost closes them down on the way through in 8th place. I think Gell and Wells going to be the next rider. So Gell's, I think, going to be the next rider heading in towards the line inside the top 10 here. So Sam Gell doing a great job here. She's going to come through and make it 9th place here today on the Wow Chainagng. Quick reminder, wind it down, stretch those legs out on the way through. Fantastic riding. You see Sam very quickly off the pedals. Good move. To now stretch those legs out. Brilliant riding there on the way through. Well done to our riders now. Wells up at the top of this slope, making her way up towards that high point before she drops down. Not too far behind. You've got Emma from Full Speed Events. You've got Sandra McKay. You've got Pip Morn. These are four fast, incredible, awesome riders here. Which of the four is going to be able to take this out? Surely they're going to get together before they hit the sprint. Come on, Pip, get on those wheels. We're going to see a 4-up sprint here, surely on the way down. Who's got the legs left after the climbs, after the 5 laps, after over 39 kilometres when they hit that finishing line? Is Pip Morn going to go for a roll at them on the downhill? She'll need to get into the slipstream and use it to shoot through the riders here. You've got, at the moment, I think it is McKay who's leading it out with Emma from Full Speed Events. In fact, Emma from Full Speed Events is on the front here. So as they make the way away from the village, Emma from Full Speed Events, then it's Sandra McKay, then it's going to be Nicola Wilson, then it's Pip Morn, who's fast. Twitches are twitching faster than anybody else's. Who has got the speed here? Oh, look at this. The beacon has chucked in an anvil on the downhill. This is going to give her extra speed. Can she maintain it to the line? You can see it picking up here. We're at 75 kilometres an hour at peak on the way down that descent. The bayonet is in sight. And I tell you what, she's opened a humongous gap up to Wells. But I tell you something, McKay has ghosted. Where has McKay gone? She's gone for a ghost. Will she come out in front or behind? She comes out behind by 2 seconds. It's going to be Martin who goes through. The yellow beacon is going to go through in the first of this group. Then it's going to be Sandra McKay ghosting clear of Wells, who's the third in the group, with Pip Morn coming to line 4th in that group there as they came down the slopes. Great riding as they came in and through the line. And it's time for our riders to spin their legs out. A massive thank you to Emma for organising, for making sure that our beacons know where they're going, for planning the routes, for telling me where we're going so I can put it on the show, as well as keeping a check on the way through. Some great riding, a real fast ramping session in there that hopefully has stretched everybody's legs out, burnt off a few mince pies or coffees or cake or whatever you had at the end of the day. So a big thank you to Emma organising and sorting that out. Big thank you to Pip, who's been a regular rider, and everybody who's ridden so far. Our next riders out on course, that is going to be, I think, Foxy and Miss Cookie, who are on their way towards the village. So whilst they make their way in, I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to try and make sure. So let's see if we can find them on a camera. There we go. This will do nicely. We can see them up there. You don't need to see me on the big screen. I see enough of me all day long, every day. Okay, so we are going to be back next week on the WOW. We'd love you to join us. Please, please, please. We need you. We need you to tell your friends. Get them on board. Get them to come and ride. There's always someone as our red beacon looking after our riders. We always have our yellow beacon there to ramp the pace up. It'll make you quicker. It'll make you faster. And you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. That's just part of the fun. We're out there to keep everybody entertained and having fun. We have the Chainagng coming out tomorrow. That is the Donny Chaingang. That is Tuesday's members only ride. That's coming back next Tuesday. We have the Thursday open to all riders. Tomorrow they're going to Bologna. Yes, they're going to Bologna, the infamous Bologna route on the Donny Chaingang. To the top, back down, to the top, back down and finish. It is not the easiest route in the world. It's a tough, 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 tough route on the Donny Chaingang tomorrow. Remember, that's a little bit earlier at 6 o'clock. We also, of course, going to be bringing you the Crosscast. We're recording that tomorrow. We're recording on Friday. Got to get my days right. Friday, we're recording the Crosscast. That's going to be coming out to you before we come in to Hulst and the cyclocross. Going to be bringing you the cyclocross from Hulst on the UCI World feed, in the English language feed, going around the world. You can pick it up in lots of different places depending on your location. If your location doesn't have a locked-in feed, a locked-in broadcast, where the geographical rights are restricted, Or if your computer is thinking it's somewhere it isn't, then you may well be able to jump on the YouTube feed with me. Be bringing you all that action. Hulst, Sonhoven, Benidorm, Hoogerheide and Tabor as well, going to be actually not in the underground stars, but actually in Tabor for that one. We've got the Chainagng coming back again, of course, on the Wednesday. We have our Sunday Race Club as well. You need to follow our social medias to catch up. If you want to see what Emma is up to, jump on board, please follow at Biking Emma. If you want to know how to pronounce everybody's name, don't ask me, don't ask Emma. Send it to us, and then we can tell everybody else. It's a lot easier. So please, please, please do get in touch with Emma or whatever we're racing. She always loves to hear from our riders. If you want to jump on board, if you have got a thought for the route, if in doubt, make sure you get in touch. You can get hold of me. It is at Matt Fixerpain, and you can follow Emma and myself right up there at Full Speed Events. This is all part of us supporting the sport from the Wow Chainagng, which we do every week. From supporting local events, sponsoring events like the North Clarion Cyclocross, looking after sporty in and gravel rides in France for people as well. It's all part of just putting stuff back into grassroots sport. You name it, we're out there doing that. We always love to do it. There's a limit to what we can do. When we can, we will do. Now, riders at the top, coming up to the top of the climb. You can see them up there. So let's jump back in with our riders. Jump back in with our red beacon, the one and only Foxy. Lisa Jane Lake from the Rave Squad, who is with the living legend that is Miss Cookie. The two riders on the way down. Whether or not they'll be doing a Le Monde and a Hino over the line together, or has it been a false truce as they go up? Will the Cookie get gobbled by the Fox? We will see if the Fox is in raiding mood or whether or not we are going to see Cookie successfully chipping it up and making the way down to the finish in front at the moment. Bit of a breather as they come up to the top. Then they're going to dive down into the finish. I remember, of course, that finish line, 39.2 kilometres, so just under 900 metres to go. 1 kilometre to go. My maths is rubbish, as everybody knows. Counting is never a strong point, particularly at the end of the day, after a lot of coffee and doing a lot of prep work this today. So here we go. 1 kilometre to go for Miss Cookie and for Foxy. 1,000 metres on the way down. The dog bark in the background, not our dog, the dog on Zwift in the village, barking at Foxy, sitting on the wheels here. Foxy on the Tron bike. Nice fast setup there, fast setup for Cookie as well, actually. It's one of the fast Pinarellos, not the fastest bike on the game, but still a nice aero bike. Going to be of advantage on the way down here. 55 kilometres an hour and counting. Going to hit 60 maybe. Let's have a look. 57 at peak on the way down there. Foxy rolling on the Tron bike, the Zwift Concept 1 bike. Zwift Concept Z1 bike, aka the Tron bike, for obvious reasons for anybody old enough to remember Tron. So here we go. This is the run in to the finish. Aero power up been employed by Miss Cookie. Is she going to come across the line first? She is. It's going to be Miss Cookie who's going to take the banner with the aero engaged as well, making no doubt about it. It's Miss Cookie who goes in over the line. A massive thank you to Lisa Jane Lake, to Foxy. A sterling job as red beacon as ever. Absolutely got to say, our beacons do a phenomenal job. Our ride leaders and the admin teams who all help us behind the scenes, all our volunteers who help us make it happen as well. Thank you very, very much indeed. We're going to let Foxy and Cookie roll their way out, and that just leaves me to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all managing to get through this time of year in one piece. Don't forget, we are going to be back tomorrow on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, not on the Full Speed Events channel. On the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, Russ Downing will be leading the riders on Bologna. It's going to be a toughie. We're going to catch up, hopefully, with you then on the Crosscast. The next episode due to come out before Hulst at the weekend. Do tune in, do catch up with us on social media. But from Emma, from Foxy, from myself, Matt Payne, stay safe. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.